Okay, today we are playing a game on Lijiang Tower. We are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing 2 rounds as Orisa and 1 round as Zarya. And we are also on the console today, so consider yourself forewarned. Our current team composition is Orisa, McCree, Pharah, Sombra, Moira, and Zenyatta. So we got 3 DPS, less than ideal. I'd rather that Sombra change to another tank, basically, because I don't trust most or any Sombra players, really. Pharah also is gonna struggle a little bit because our healers are Moira and Zenyatta. Moira can't feasibly heal Pharah most of the time, so Pharah's going to have to rely on Zenyatta and health kits for healing, unless she spends a lot of time on the ground. So, not ideal. Let's be honest, like, if you're picking Pharah and there isn't a Mercy on your team, like, it becomes a lot less appealing, doesn't it? Anyway, so let's start the game. So we're on Night Market first. A pretty good map for Orisa if we can get control of the point. Pharah does manage to pick off their Ashe immediately. So that's a good start. We go far around the left-hand side, and they've got an Orisa as well, and a Zarya. Zarya was hacked, but Zarya isn't really all that bothered about it, to be perfectly honest with you. So we are standing kind of far forward for what's going on right now, because we're standing all the way up here. We start losing this barrier fight right here. Ours is going to break way before theirs does. Well, not way before, but ours is going to break first. And we're not stood next to anything we can use as cover. We're like standing further away from the doorway behind us. We should be a little bit closer to the doorway so that we can use it as cover. Do have to worry about potentially getting booped off, but as long as we're paying attention, that's not so much of an issue, and we can use it the door frame as cover. Reaper came up on us and just kind of killed us, though, and it's hard to stop that one as Orisa. Requires a little bit of teamwork for most, well, all tanks to actually kill Reaper, sadly, and we didn't know he was coming, so life is difficult sometimes. So we're waiting for our team to regroup. Pharah got picked off, got staggered basically pretty badly. We could be standing further forward. Like, our team are going up here to stand up here, so we should come stand with them. Like, we don't want to go fight in while one of our teammates is missing, but if they're going to come this far up, like, better we're up here at least to help him a little bit. So he got stunned and thoroughly murdered. Now they've also lost their Zenyatta as well, so they've missed 2 of their healers. Now they're missing Orisa, Zarya. Reaper's still alive, but Reaper's gonna have to pull off a pretty sick play for this one. He didn't do it. Did look a lot like he was gonna try Death Blossoming right there, because that's usually what's coming when they Wraith form up to you, but he managed to have some self-restraint. So now we've got control of the point, though. Could have just put the barrier down. I mean, we should have put the barrier down sooner, because, I mean, nothing's happening. Like, yeah, some of the time goes out on the barrier, but we got the cooldown going, because if we put it down sooner, then when they come up and start fighting, we've already got our shield back up again, or close to, because we set up ahead of time. And then when they break this barrier, we can just immediately replace it, rather than potentially having to wait, if we just wait until they appear to put it down. You know, they might pick a direction to go we weren't ready for, but as long as we put it down ahead of time, we've got the cooldown anyway, so we can just move to match them regardless. And if we guess right, they come in, hey, we've already got the cooldown done when they come in. So we are advancing, like, pretty far up right now. Most of our teammates are stood further behind us right now, and well, McCree is going, like, further in right now, but us putting the shield over here doesn't really accomplish overly much. Like, it's blocking a bit of damage for us, but, like, ideally we're blocking damage for our teammates, so we should be worrying more out positioning the shield so it can help them, and as we can see, they were all stood over here on the back right side, rather than the front left side, where we were pushing up. So we do have the bongo built up. Actually, you know, what the fuck is Orisa's actual ultimate called? Because I've always just called it the bongo. I actually don't know. I've always just internalized that one as the bongo. Damage amplifier? That's a weak name if that's the case. I've never really bothered to keep track of that one, to be honest with you. So we go for the attempt to pull off the edge. Didn't work out. They're deciding to come in with Transcendence, which is usually not a great idea. They also put Bob down. Things started getting quite messy quite quickly. Moira's not really allowed to do what she just did there, but she did it. Zen uses Trance. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of people quite early on in the fight, because we lost our Zenyatta and Sombra. Not Sombra. Farah ahead of time. That's the one. And the thing with like pushing that far up on that side is like Orisa isn't very good at moving quickly, so if you end up in a bad spot while you're pushed up like that, it can be difficult to retreat. So, we're waiting for our team to regroup. Again, if they're going to come stand up here, we might as well come up and stand with them. We can at least put the shield in front of them, make it a little harder for them to get picked off, you know. So, 2 of their teammates immediately dead right now. They just lost Moira, so they've lost their main healer. They've got Zenyatta, but Zenyatta used Trance in the last fight, so he definitely doesn't have it here. Put the bongo down. Emped them as well. Probably didn't need to use Emp at this point. Man, Zenyatta got Emped. How sad for him. Emp might as well just read on it. Kill Zenyatta, you know? Like, it's real brutal. Just do 150 to damage to him right there and then. So now we've got to set up ahead of time so we can just move easier if they come, when they come in. They might not come in at all, but we can just keep refreshing the shield, so it's no big deal. So they're starting to push up on the center over there. I'm not sure we actually saw them coming. This is, like, not a great place to put the shield. We put it real far forward, but, like, they're also coming up the left side, as well as that, well, the left side's that way from your perspective, and they're coming up over here. So putting the shield all the way up there is, like, it's blocking them, which is cool and all, but, like, there's still, like, the threat from over there. So if, to get a better shield, we'd be better off, like, rotating back over to, like, our side of the point, and then we can put the shield down thusly, and then it can be blocking both directions. Not quite thusly, because then it wouldn't be blocking over there too well. You get the idea. We could be blocking both directions rather than, and like just chucking it that far forward is like, we gotta go stand in like their Orisa's shield to get value out of it. Like, that's very far forward. Maybe the intention is to push up and just try and fight their Orisa, but I'd rather back up a little bit and put the shield so we're blocking both directions. So we changed to Hammond, get back faster as Hammond. Fair enough, but not necessary. We won the fight anyway. Hooray. So that went pretty well. We ended the round like 99 to 98, but like it didn't really feel all that close, to be honest with you. Honestly. We did lose a couple fights, but I mean, then we just kind of came back and, like, rolled over them, more or less. Like, it was never particularly taxing, honestly. So, they go right, we go left. We didn't get pushed off the bridge coming up, always nice. They've lost their Ashe immediately right at the start of the round. Their Ashe is not doing a very good job of staying alive at the start of these rounds, but now they got a Mercy, so hey, she gets to not have to learn from her mistakes. Now Mercy's dead, though, which is a lot worse for them. And Ashe is dead again, so hey, that's going great for them. We're pretty much just scuffling over here on the point. It's very hard for us to win this fight, so we're kind of just hoping that our teammates win the other fight they're having, and then come over here to help us with this one, because, like, pretty much we're never gonna kill them over there unless they make some kind of terrible mistake, pretty much. And unfortunately, their Reaper comes over here, so it ends up getting kind of bad at this point. So the unfortunate thing about this fight is basically just the team split up and went 2 different ways. We ended up like fighting our mirrors on the point, so it was difficult for us to win. Then Reaper showed up, so that definitely puts it more in their favor. We did manage to pick off their Zarya right there. This is a questionable time to use Fortify because nothing's happening right now. Ideally, we're using Fortify to block a lot of damage that's coming at us, right? It's damage mitigation, so we want to use it when we're actually going to mitigate some damage. Not just kind of like put our shield down, then walk through the shield, use Fortify. Like, we want to actually, like, mitigate damage with Fortify. So anyway, we got control of the point, just backed up a little bit, team starts regrouping, we start pushing in, there's Zarya got picked off, hooray, everything went well. So it turns out they got a Bastion now. This is unfortunate in regards to us keeping our shield alive, because he's gonna shred that one, but ideally we don't give him a chance to set up. Here comes Reaper. I didn't know he was over here. We had Fortify, didn't we? Yeah, we had Fortify, we just didn't push it. Hey, he killed us pretty fucking fast. This is a very scary place to stand, just because of the distance we have to go to get to safety, because we've got to go all this way around the corner to get back inside where our team is probably. So that is a scary place to stand. If they had a boop, it would be even scarier for obvious reasons, but it just kind of takes us a long time to get back into the point, and if they start pushing up the right-hand side like they were there, we kind of have to, like, push through them. So if we're going to stand up there, we got to be pretty careful of people coming up behind us, pretty much, because then we'll be stuck out in the open, and that's not ever where Orisa wants to find herself. She's not exactly a fast girl. She's got 4 legs. You'd think she'd be a little bit faster, but no. Anyway, so we've got the bongo built up, which is nice. Our team is splitting up again. Who's that all the way? Sombra. I thought that was McCree for some reason. Very different silhouette, but for some reason I thought that person was McCree. So we got... This was not exactly well coordinated, because our Sombra was counting down using Emp there, but McCree used Deadeye, like, way ahead of schedule. Farah did as well, but it worked out for her, so... Hey, Reaper's gonna spin. His team's kind of all dead at this point, so it doesn't really accomplish too much for him. And so we're going real far up right now. I'm guessing, yeah, this was the goal. Mega optimism. Like, they were not going any kind of way, like, any kind of direction to get hit by that. So now we end up being late to set up, because we end up having to rotate all the way around, and we put our shield down, like, right as they're getting here, so... we've conceded a fair bit of ground already going for that, because they've gotten up this bridge at us, basically for free, because we're getting here, like, right as they're arriving at the other end of the bridge. And then Reaper arrives and starts making life difficult for us, so... Hey, the fight's still going well, hey, you don't get punished, you don't have to learn, but... Us going for, like, that really optimistic play ended up conceding a lot of ground to them, because they managed to get across the bridge for free. Ended up not mattering in the long run, but definitely could have mattered, so... Orisa's already kind of gated in how quickly she can rotate, because of her shield cooldown. She can't exactly move it around freely like Reinhardt can, so anytime you're arriving late to the party is unfortunate for Orisa, and we're the main tank, so we have to worry about, like, conceding ground, right? The front line's kind of our concern. So our team have been fighting over on the point for a while at this point, actually. Like, we can see that, like, a bunch of them have gone through the doorway over on the other side, but we're sticking around over here. We're our team's only tank, and we'd be our team's main tank, likely, regardless. So, like, us doing this, like... Look, they're fighting on the point right now, but we stay over here trying to get the Bastion. That's a noble endeavor, but we'll never kill Bastion unless he really fucks up. So again, we've just conceded a ton of ground to the enemy team. Like, they're fighting on the point actively by the time we actually arrive over here. So we just took way too long to rotate to the point and gave up way too much ground. By the time we arrive, some of our teammates are dead fighting on the point. So, not exactly optimal. We decide to change to Zarya, which is not recommended right now. We go to Reinhardt, but we change to Zarya during the next round. We definitely don't want to be solo tank Zarya, because that's very upsetting. Solo tank any of the off tanks is going to be quite upsetting. Like that game we watched yesterday, where our only tank was Roadhog. That was very fun. So we don't get back in time to fight over the point. Very sad, very sad. He's going to play Reinhardt, so we changed to Zarya. Did he stay on? No, he changed to Zarya, then changed to... No, wait. To Reinhardt. Okay, yeah, okay. I don't know why, I just for some reason couldn't parse the fucking switches in the chat log for some reason. So hey, look at that, we got a dramatically better combination of tanks right now. I do not like this Zarya skin. Something about the color I don't like. I am colorblind, maybe it's my own personal problem, but man, like, people like this skin, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. If we're gonna go for one where the main appeal is her hair is a different color, you know, the frosted one is way better. Anyway, so, their soldier immediately got picked off. Now their Reaper's also dead. Their Bastion is still alive. He killed Sombra, so Bastion is scary. But, they're already missing 2 people. What are we doing with our barriers? Bubbled that guy, like, real early. This guy, like, he's gonna do some damage to us. We did bubble the Reinhardt really early on, right there, and we ended up not getting a huge amount of charge off of it. Now, we've, like, gone on to the point way ahead of our team, which ended up, almost costing us our lives right there. So, we didn't exactly have the energy to go for a really aggressive play. You gotta actually have your teammates with you when you advance, and if you're really high energy, you can do a lot more brave stuff, but we were not high energy at the time, and we just ended up almost dying instead. So their Reaper is, I don't know where the fuck their Bastion is. Like, I've seen Bastion in the kill feed a few times, but, like, Lord only knows where Bastion actually is right now. Oh, there he is! Hey, he's shown up. Oh god, this is very scary to do when we don't have our personal bubble up right now. We should... Oh, Jesus Christ. So this is real scary to just, like, march up to the Bastion while we don't have our personal bubble. He's not looking at us right now, and Mercy's actually been hacked. So I'd rather go for the Mercy right now, because if we can just... It's gonna be really hard to kill Bastion through Mercy and Moira's Coalescence. So I'd rather kill Mercy first. Mercy's, like, pretty free, hacked while we're high energy. And instead, we just double down on killing the Bastion. We do kill the Bastion, so that's great. But, like, Mercy, like, say, we just, like, melted through Mercy, and she was hacked a second ago. So she was pretty free. But we're high energy now, so we get to just kind of do whatever the fuck we want, pretty much. High energy Zarya is the best hero in the game. So... we just got to chew through their entire team. Feels good, man. Their Reaper was around. He was a little bit scary, but we got him. This is a pretty aggressive use of Grav, because they're still regrouping at this point. And we end up killing Bastion twice, so that's pretty exciting. Mercy went for a really ballsy res right there, and it did not pay off. Pretty much we can just do a lot of whatever we want, just because we have so much energy. We didn't worry about the Reaper situation. After the Graviton, Reaper did actually go out the doorway on the left-hand side, and we kind of didn't pay any mind to that because we were going aggro on them. But it ended up costing a few of our teammates their lives back here because we didn't more actively worry about that. As the off-tank, we are the one that should be worrying about flankers. The main tank's job is more to worry about the front line, so... someone really nailed it when they said the main tank controls space, and then the off tank secures the space. So you kind of like run around cleaning up everyone's messes, basically, which usually means dealing with the flankers. Got him, nice. We could have, rather than just like chewing through the entire point, you can do because it's a little close if he might get up. You can right-click melee to do a lot more burst right at the end to try and finish him off rather than just lasering through the guy the whole time. Not as much of a big deal for Zarya when she's high energy, because the laser just does a lot of damage, but right-click melee will do a lot more burst damage if it's getting kind of close, whether or not you got the time to laser the guy. So we're going pretty aggro right now while we're half health. They did just get amped, so that's very exciting, obviously, but we are half health, and we don't want to drop all this beautiful energy we have, so very aggressive to run in right there and then while we're half health. We would have, it would have, benefited us to try and heal before we actually went in that aggro right there. Then we got caught in the Graviton. That makes it makes it very difficult to survive when you're in the Graviton, but being half health definitely didn't help. So now we have to work on building all our energy again. Is very optimistic to have gone after the Bastion while we have no energy right now, because he's got the damage reduction in tank form or in turret form, and he could just start healing. So I'd rather worry about helping our teammates on the point right now, especially since we also have Grav. Someone's got to deal with the Bastion, that's true, but low energy Zarya versus Bastion isn't exactly a matchup I'm super excited to get into. So it's getting pretty close at this point. We're going real aggro after these boys. I would have rather played a little bit more cautiously while we were kind of waiting for our teammates so we could be going in here while we were more healthy. Because we've kind of been like right at the precipice of dying this entire fight now. It's pretty incredible that we as Zarya have been able to kill Bastion something like 4 times at this point. That is not something that usually happens over the course of a game. Oh, we might get to kill him a 5th time right here, because this was not a good res. Yeah, she just killed him again. If you play a Mercy, be careful when you res the guy, because that res was never going to do anything except maybe kill Bastion a 2nd time. So Mercy staggered Bastion for us. If they end up losing the round now, you can actually point at Mercy and go, she might be the reason that happened, because now they're regrouping with the Bastion so much later than they would have been if she just let him stay dead right there. So Reaper started spinning, didn't exactly kill a lot of people. We've only grabbed Orisa right here. We know the rest of them are coming. I just heard Bastion use configuration tank. Mercy's not dead yet, so like we grab Orisa. Orisa can just fortify, walk out a grab, but like also, she's not hard to hit. Just solo grabbing the Orisa is way less exciting than Mercy, Lucio, and Bastion. So, I didn't actually know we were that low yet. Oh yeah, we took a big chunk of damage right there. So we should be playing more around this cover right now. I didn't know we took this much damage either. So, but we should have played more around this cover right now, because we don't have our personal bubble, we're really low health, and we're running up on a Bastion. So we need to try and play this corner a little bit more until we heal up, get our personal bubble, or our team regroups. But the big thing there is just that last grab was not very good. We could have grabbed both their supports and Bastion instead, which is way better than just the Orisa. So no guarantee we kill the others, just because we grabbed them, seeing as a few members of our team were dead at that point, but that would be a dramatically better use of grab than the one we actually went for. And we had a way better chance of winning from that one. So that was like the thing that stood out the most, that very last grab right there. But other than that, like, we're real aggro. Like, it's good to be aggro when you're high energy because you are so very strong, as we saw when we killed like 4 people more or less by ourselves. But you've got to be careful, because if you don't have your personal bubble and you don't have a lot of health, like, they can still chew through you. And the thing is, when you're high energy, you really don't want to die, because then you have to start again. Like, with high energy Zarya, best hero in the game. So if you just die because you went too aggro when you had high energy, now you're starting at 0 again. Now you got to get all the way up from being like the worst hero in the game to being the best hero in the game again, which is very sad. So you do want to be aggro when you're high energy, but you got to be careful at the same time, because you don't want to drop all that energy at the same time. So especially when they've got like really high it's not the word, it's not the correct way to phrase this, when they got a lot of tank busters on their team, right? They got Bastion and they got Reaper as well. So when we go really aggro, they can do a lot of damage to us very suddenly. So we've got to be careful when we go aggro. We didn't end up getting punished for it a lot of times, but there are definitely games where we get punished more frequently for our high aggro play. Just like running up to the Bastion without the projected barrier. He was looking at someone else, so great for us. But if he's a little bit more, paying a bit more attention, or just like looks at us sooner, while he's being pocketed by Mercy, he just, like, minces right through us instead. So the enemy team helped us out a little bit in this game, pretty much. So that was what stood out the most in this game. Definitely that last grab, though, could have definitely been the difference between winning and losing the game. So anyway, that's all I got for you. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. There's a link to it in the description. I've started streaming on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 p.m. EST to 11 p.m. EST. There is also a link to that in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future, and I hope you found the video helpful.